Good morning, everyone. Okay, we'll continue with our book reading this week. The Toyota Way to Service Excellence by Jeffrey K. Liker and Karen Ross. Last week, we looked at processes, flowing value to each customer. We looked at principle 3. Principle 3 said strive for one piece flow, striving for one piece flow. Today on page 365, we'll look at principle 4, still under processes, which said strive for leveled work pattern. Strive for leveled work pattern. Remember, we're in chapter 10, and chapter 10 says the long journey to a customer-focused learning organization. And we are also looking at the 4P of Toyota's lean transformation, which is philosophy, principle, processes, and problem solving. So principle 4 says strive for leveled work pattern. So after a month of keeping close tabs on what was happening day in and day out, Joe and his partners realized that they need to set up separate drivers and systems for airport riders and local riders. Most airport rides were booked in advance by regulars, business travelers, on a fairly predictable schedule. However, local rides tend to come from customers pulling for immediate pickups. They wanted to go to the grocery store or to their friend's house, and they wanted to do it right now. It simply took too long to get drivers from the airports back to local suburban destinations to be able to have one-time pickups. And it was difficult and stressful for the drivers. Separating airport drivers and local drivers substantially improved traffic flow and reduced drivers' stress from having to rush back from the airport to pick up a local ride. Joe and NTL learned that it was possible to take a positive step towards leveled work patterns, even in a business of erratic customer demand. The flow of work became much smoother for the drivers, and customer satisfaction improved too. Having a whole separate set of drivers and processes wasn't what we had envisioned when we started out, but having our challenge statement of every ride on time, every time, working together, really helped us to think differently about how to solve the problem, said Joe. It's a lot easier for us to cover every ride this way, and customers get picked up when they want to be picked up. Principle 5 says respond to customer pull. Just as they have an understanding of one piece flow, taxi drivers also have an innate understanding of customer pull. In fact, customer pull for their service 24 hours a day. It is important that our customers are able to reach us whenever they want to and however they want to. Joe told me when we started working together. To that end, NTL customers can pull for airport or local ride by booking in advance through the app, which is what most regular business travelers do. Using the online booking functions on NTL's website used most often by customers booking rides to the airports for vacation. Calling NTL on the phone, customers wanting local rides usually call, or sending an email directly, customers who have questions about timing of rides or who have special requests. As Joe said, making sure our customers can reach us anytime using whatever method works best for them is one of the most important parts of delivering service excellence. If they can't reach us immediately, they will just call another company, then we'll lose the ride. And that will be bad for our customers, as we won't have the opportunities to wow them with our service, and it will be bad for our business too. This is where we'll stop for our reading today. And we looked at principle 4, strive for leveled work pattern, and we also looked at principle 5, response to customer pull. In our previous pages, we've touched this topic one after the other. We've looked at what leveled work pattern is, and we looked at what a customer pull actually means. So in the story of NTL, it is actually using this actually applying what a leveled work pattern is, and actually applying what a customer pull is. So in this story that we've read this morning, it was applying the principle of a leveled work pattern and the response to customer pull. So in this story, we looked at how NLT leveled their work pattern. They had drivers who were going to ride customers or passengers to the airport, and they also had drivers who were available for the local suburban destinations. This was how they were able to overcome the challenge of stressing the drivers. When the driver is at the airport and someone orders a ride, it will be hard for that person to start rushing down to the suburban area to pick up a passenger. So they had to separate drivers in the company, or rather two categories of drivers in the company: those who worked for the airport and those who worked for the local destination. Then the next one says response to customer pull. So response to customer pull, this is the principle that will help them respond to customer or pay attention to customer 24/7 on any kind of on every platform, either via email, via call, via text message, whichever social media platform. They didn't want their customers, they didn't want to lose their customers, and they didn't want to lose prospective customers either. So they had to use this principle 5, which said response to customer pull. In our previous pages, we saw how this customer pull was applied in the supermarket. We saw how it was applied in other organizations and businesses, and they've also applied it to NLT services. Like what the book told us in our previous video, that you don't just copy, or it's not just for a manufacturing industry. You can also apply this principle in a service industry. So this is where we'll stop for our reading this morning. Thank you.